Hey Chris, is that you? Damn!
So I want to get into real estate, but don't know where to start.
Well, what I would say is to join the Future Cash Flow Club. It's a community of investors where we talk about wholesaling, we talk about creative deal structuring, buying houses subject to, all of the creative stuff that everybody's talking about. You don't need a real estate license or any of that.
Wow, where do I sign up?
Well, I would say go to futurecashflowclub.com. That's futurecashflowclub.com. You can even get a free trial. Try it out today.
Hey Chris, is that you? Damn! Hey Chris, is that you? Damn!
Can you hear me? I don't know. If you don't know who I am by now, I don't know what you've been doing. You been asleep? Let me wake you up with something. Straight up. Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chris Monroe. R to the O-E. I flip houses, rent cars, and make money. You know I'm not no motherfucking dummy. This how we... What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? This is the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Cashflow Money Monroe, and I'm right back at you with another real estate video. Today's video is being brought to you by Future Cashflow Club. Join. Tap the link in the bio. Give the video a thumbs up. Give it a like. Give it a share because we got a nice treat coming up for you here tonight. We're going to be on in a little bit here with my guy, Joseph Griffin, the tax deed wolf. Ahoo! Coming in, going to be talking about some tax deeds, specializing in buying property, getting the deed for way less than what you thought you could. We're going to get into the weeds of that. And also, don't forget, coming up this next weekend, Father's Day weekend, as a matter of fact, next weekend, Saturday, June 20th, we're going to be doing a live in-person meetup here in sunny St. Louis. That's right. The Sub 2 Real Estate networking meetup Saturday, June 20th. That's going to be about 4 o'clock in the evening at the Foundry in Midtown, right in the middle, right in the heart of St. Louis. If you want to come out and meet, belly to belly, face to face, see if we are really talking that real estate talk, really doing what we saying we're doing, I say come on out and get in person. Because, some people feel like, oh, I'm scared to get on the internet. I don't want to be on a computer. I don't want to be on a live stream. I don't want people to see my face. I might be exposed. You never know. But we do it face to face. We do those probably every month or two. So that's the next one this Saturday. Hope to see you there. So shouts out to the people I see jumping in. I see we got some people watching on YouTube, Facebook. We got my man Justin Holmes buying up all the homes and some others. I see you out at a house already, Justin. You ain't playing. He be in the field for real. Some people be like, I'm gonna be doing some real estate. You really do real estate in real life, it looks like.
Rocking.
So you got to have a real property in your pocket that you're working on. I like to see it. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, we got, like I say, tax deed wolf coming up here in a few minutes. But before we get into that, I just want to chat with the family, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is step one, some lead generation, keeping the pipeline full. Very important. Keep some people coming in to let them know that you are buying. If you're buying, or if you're wholesaling, you still are buying in a way. You're just acting on behalf of another person. So it's so important to keep the lead flow in. Now, tonight we'll be getting into some more with Tax Deed Wolf on how he generates leads, how to understand how that works. But I live more so in the space of the pre-foreclosure space, or the disgruntled landlord space, or the expired listing space, really any space, to be honest. It doesn't really matter what the problem is when it comes to this. I want to have a conversation with the person. If you got a real problem. Now, regular people with regular property with no super crazy problems, they can go list their house on the market, on the MLS with a real estate agent. Nothing wrong with that. But you got to remember, when you go that route, you're going to probably get the most amount of money, yes, possibly, or close to what you can get. And then, you got to deal with the other stuff, the loans, the lenders, the appraisers, the inspections, all of that stuff, which is fine if your property can meet those standards. But if your property needs work, if you got a bunch of title issues, if you are behind on payments, need auction stopped, all type of other extra stuff, extra problems, that's where somebody like me comes in. And that's probably maybe 10% of the marketplace. I would say maybe 10 to 15%. Let's say that 10 to 15% of the marketplace would deal with an investor. But average people, regular people, put it on the market and sell it. Now, let's just say they put it on the market to try to sell it, but find out they can't sell it for some reason. And I always say it's only 2 reasons a property won't sell. Let's see if Justin remember what they did. Oh, Justin Drive. And I was going to ask him. It's only 2 reasons a property won't sell. You got an idea what that would be? Why would they not sell?
Marketing and price.
Come on. If the marketing is bad, it won't sell. And if the price is too high, it will not sell. And the people tell you, hey, I can't buy it. And they don't have to be just a person. This comes back to even the retail side. The price can be too high. I've seen people with properties trying to sell it and it won't appraise. I've seen people with properties that cannot pass inspections for FHA loans. Very picky. They want to see everything right. You can't be having chip paint. Stuff got to be right. So when we get into this investor side, I don't care what the situation is with the property, because we're going to fix it up. We're going to figure it out. And we're going to make that money one way or another. So this is why we bring value to the marketplace, by actually coming in and solving a problem for people. Actually solving problems. Some people don't realize there's a lot of problems you can run into with real estate. They could start off with, I just want to sell my house. Yeah, you can sell it, but you want to sell it quick with speed and convenience. That's my thing. But if you want to get top dollar, wait the game out 2-3 months down the line, put it on the market. And if it don't work out, hit me back. Have you come across people like that, Justin, and say they're just going to put their house on the market?
All the time.
And what they end up doing, coming back to see you later.
All the time. I got a lady who started a probate and basically trying to solve a problem or whatever with trying to sell her father's house. She's the personal representative for her dad, and trying to sell her father's house at like just over what the market is willing to pay. And I told her from the very beginning, and I always just follow up with her. Hey, just want to see, what you want to do, what you want to do, and she just static, just sitting on it. And I'm sure she paying that money on it, and it is what it is.
That's right. So they're gonna have to go down and run that gauntlet. It might work out, but it probably won't work out. As long as we plant the seed to let them know that, hey, you need to come back to me, and you'll see that we can make something happen. That's what it all come back to. So the
Absolutely.
fortunes are in the follow up. Some of my best deals came off follow ups, checking back with people. Hey, did you get the house sold yet? Start off the conversation right hot then and there. Did you get the property sold yet? And they tell me, no, I didn't get it sold, or no, I'm still working on it, or whatever their thing is. You ready to sell it? I'm ready to buy it. And sometimes they get fed up. It's a thing called disgust. They're tired of dealing with the property. A tired landlord definitely is one of those people who will be tired of dealing with trying to sell a property, chasing a tenant for rent, they're not paying, and all the other things that come along with real estate. So, a lot of people ask me, Chris, don't you want to be a big landlord and rent properties out? I'm not a big fan of traditional rentals at all for a single family house. I don't see any reason to do a traditional rental on a single family house. Now, some people look at the world differently or look at the game differently. It's just the way I see it. I see that we buy a lot of properties from disgruntled landlords. Why would I want to trade places and become a disgruntled landlord? No, I don't want to do that. I want to be like the bank, because the bank don't do nothing. They set a deal up, they set it and forget it. And that's the kind of plays I like. This is why we like to exit on the lease option. This is why we like to exit on these creative strategies, contract for deed, etc. So seller finance, even, all of this stuff comes back to the bank making all the money. Let me copy some of their swag. What are they doing to make all this money to get the biggest buildings in every city in America? I need to be like them, getting paid, passive cash flow, and not fixing on houses. I'm just not a fan of it. And that was one of the reasons I did not want to get into real estate from the very beginning. I'm like, man, you got to fix houses. I don't know nothing about fixing on no houses. I don't want to be messing with no plumbing and bathrooms. And, I guess we can do some paint. I mean, that's pretty simple. But, you start getting beyond that. It's like, wait a minute. This is real work. HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. Who want to do that stuff? Unless that's your skill set. But you had to run in with somebody doing that HVAC, huh, Justin? You said they busting heads on the prices getting that done, huh?
But busting heads and then hit you with the bill on the back end. I'm like, hold on, bro. That ain't how we gonna do that. Cause I'm built different.
So what was wrong with the property? Was the AC not running, or what happened there?
Yeah. So at first, the AC, the fan wasn't going at all. So then I'm like, okay, well, I need to call them. And then my people was like, well, you should hit it with the power washer and see if that kicks it on. Because he said that's what he learned on YouTube. So hit it with the power washer, boom, it cuts on. It's going. I'm like, okay, perfect. This is great. But it wasn't getting cool and everything. So I'm like, oh, it might need some cooling or Freon or whatever. So when I called the AC guy came, I was leaving. 10 minutes later, he sent me 3 pictures and was like, "Yeah, that's gonna be 650." And I'm like, 650? I'm like, you tripping?
But he got that mud running, huh?
He got it running as cold as ice up in that property.
I say, wait a minute, I'm finna come be your damn apprentice. What you doing? So he didn't even take 10 minutes. He took longer to drive to your property than the job took to do and make 650.
Right. He took 24 hours to get there.
So he was there the next day.
Right.
But hey, when that AC ain't on and it's hot outside, you're like, hey, I'm willing to pay. And I'm willing to bust heads. If I'm the guy if I'm him, I'm busting heads too.
Right.
So this is just goes to show when we do our deals and people say, why you charge and why you do that? Everybody else charging. What I'm supposed to be $2 for when everybody else busting heads. But that's the game we play. So this just goes to show you, HVAC, keep you a good HVAC person. If you don't become that person yourself, keep you a good plumber. If you don't become a good plumber yourself, keep you a good person that know how to fix stuff, handyman, or get on that YouTube University like you mentioned. A lot of stuff you can look right on YouTube or Chat GPT or Claude, Anthropic, one of these, AI sites. A lot of this stuff is not even specialized knowledge anymore. You can literally look it up, pull it up on your computer, pull it up on your phone, and it'll tell you step by step. Check this, spray down with that. Put a cold rag over it. You'd be like, damn, I was going to pay somebody $650 and found out it was a 10-minute fix. You feel bad about that, huh, Justin?
Oh yeah, because the parts he replaced it with, I'm sure I could have ordered them myself off Amazon. I actually did that same thing before when I had Hoffman come in and they charged like 150 for a service call to mess with this. I had a in the wall oven and stuff, so I watched him pull it out, disassemble it. He found out that it was this igniter that needed to be replaced, and he wanted like $750 for him to complete the job. And I
Wow.
was like, no, I'm not paying 750. I ended up Googling it. The igniter was literally 15 bucks, and I just pulled the oven out the wall like he did. Same kind of setup, and I put the igniter in there that I ordered off Amazon. So, saved myself. I had to pay him 150 for a service call, so that's 165. So, I saved myself maybe about 600 plus dollars.
So when he came out to do the service call, he told you what it was to fix it.
Right.
And that's the crazy thing too with Chat GPT, etc. I pull up that phone and pull that camera out and I'll show it and I'll ask it, hey, what this looks like, what does it look like in need, and if it's doing this. And it'll tell you while looking at it. Well, from the looks of it, you have your wires crossed. And I'll be like, oh, wait a minute. Don't pay somebody a bunch of money to do something you can almost do yourself. Yeah,
Right.
this
I would have did that myself thinking about it now. I just didn't think that they was gonna tax that much. I would have paid 300, 350 for the convenience, but 650, absolutely not.
well, what is price made up or what?
It is made up.
They just made it up on you.
Right, exactly.
Hey, that's the game. So, just like when we do these different clean outs and stuff, you'd be like, oh, it only costs $100 to clean it out. And you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna charge them 500. We make money out there. It's the game, man. It's so many things. You pay for your lack of knowledge. I guess that's what we can come down to with a conclusion. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
So we either gotta learn it or learn how we can learn it and implement what we need to implement so we can actually be better off in the world. It's a lot of things we could pay a lot of money for. Like a couple of weeks ago, the lady staying in my house in Maryland Heights, she's in a wheelchair. So she's telling me, oh, Chris, the fan won't cut off on the AC. I'm getting ready to do what you did and call the HVAC guy. But I'm like, man, nah, wait a minute. I know this dude be charging. Let me go see what's going on. She got the damn AC thing button on instead of auto. So it wasn't even blowing. And I'm looking like, man, I would have been mad to pay that dude to come over there to fix that. Because she's sitting out in a wheelchair and the way the thing sits, she can't really see above the line unless she's standing up over. I walked right in and put it on auto and it was good. And I'm like, yeah, you can't be paying people for silly stuff like that. You got to either become handy or get an affordable handy person because there's always something with this stuff.
He was gonna charge you $300 and tell you that he fixed something.
He's gonna say $325. You gonna pay cash or credit card?
Right.
Part of the game. What's going on, Shonda? She said, "Hey, Chris, is that you? Damn, that's me. What up? What up? Good to see you." So yeah, this real estate game and really the game of life can be a problem if you don't understand it. It don't even have to just be real estate. This can be a basic business. This can be anything, simple stuff. It can be raking leaves, cutting grass. It don't matter. Somebody charging somebody for it, and people are willing to pay it. The question is, what is the most they're willing to pay? Just like we had a delivery today. I had somebody buy something from our store, a little dresser, and they was like, "Oh, we live in U City." Like, "Oh, that'd be $50 curbside drop off." They said, "Oh no, we want to deliver it in the house." So I said, "Oh, 150. Delivery inside the house is 150. What you think she did?
She paid that money.
She paid that 150. I said, "Thank you." Take it up some steps. It was like 15 steps or something, take us upstairs. And so, those who pay attention. And it seems like it's such a small thing, but there are people that are willing to pay for your service, your expertise, your knowledge, your truck, if you got a truck to move something. All of these things are still possibilities for you to earn income. So people feel like I can't make no money. I don't know why not. It ain't nothing but opportunity out here. Even if you're talking physical labor like that, or if you're talking about this real estate game, reach out to some people that's on the foreclosure list and make a deal. We got 2 deals under contract this week, as a matter of fact. One down in South County and one over here in Florissant, everybody's favorite area. You get anything locked up this week, Justin?
Yeah, I got 2 wholesales actually locked up this week.
Okay. How'd you find those?
One was I found myself marketing for the tenant buyer stuff so much that deals usually like kind of like walk to me and stuff. So um, one of my relatives had reached out to me and told me that he got a house that he was looking to sell for like 18 grand and stuff. So, 18 grand, when you're talking those type of numbers, is low like that, I can get it done. You know what I mean? So it don't matter condition, area, and stuff. I already know they not marketing it. So I put it on the marketplace for like 25 grand. Um, so that's 25. Boom, I make 7 grand or whatever the case may be. Cool, nice, easy dispo. And then what's the other one? The other
What
one was
area is that in?
that's in the 63136.
Oh, okay. Did you sell it yet?
I haven't found a buyer for it yet. No.
I think I got a buyer for it. I got 3 people begging me for cheap houses.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Because I'm not a fan of cheap houses. Do you like cheap houses, Justin?
I don't do flips, so
Why not? Everybody say you're supposed to go flip houses.
I don't flip houses, sir.
Flip people.
Right, I flip paperwork.
That's right. A part of the game. It's you got to find a way to make it happen. So you found some people just through your marketing for looking for tenant buyers on the dispo side, but people see you're in real estate, so they're like, "Hey, Justin, I got a house I want to sell," and then you get a lead. Just that simple.
Yep. And then the other one is this house that's been across the street from me for since I moved in my area, which been maybe about going on a year and a half now. And the guy been stuck in the property. I got him to pay me a bunch of money to do clean outs and cut the grass and different stuff like that. He an out of town buyer. So he's actually bringing money to the table to get out of a deal. He bought it for 58. I got him on a contract for 30, and then I found a buyer for like 35.
Oh, well, damn. Well, hey, if they willing to take it, we willing to make it.
Yep.
So that guy finally became a motivated seller and say, you know what? I'm going to bring money to closing to sell my house. I just want to make sure we're getting that right.
100%.
And so a lot of people don't even believe that's even possible, that somebody would bring cash to closing to sell their house.
That's exactly what he's doing.
That's happened several times with me as well, over the past. Haven't happened recently, but I think about a year or so ago, we had a guy like that. He brought 7 grand to closing to sell his house. I said, that's crazy work. Then I had another dude that was willing to bring $20,000 to sell his house. I mean, y'all crazy. I'm like, y'all better structure a deal and get creative, but they won't out. When somebody say they won't out, they'll do whatever it takes. So this just comes back to when we're negotiating, we tell them the number we need to be at. If we're going to buy a house for cheap and we know it need to be low enough, our offer is what our offer is. And we let them make the decision whether they want to sell it and bring money to closing or, do whatever they're going to do with the property. Did you have to pressure that guy or did he just do it on his own?
I just was patient, really. You know what I mean? At first, he kept going under contract with wholesalers who was trying to get it off for like 40, 50, 47. They was never able to get it done.
So they kept locking it up too high.
Of course, that's what they do because they don't have no skills.
but how did you convince them to come down below what everybody else was doing?
What I did was, since me and him had a rapport and everything, is I pretty much just said, I just started marketing it. I'm like, well, this could be a deal I can get done. and stuff. Asked him what his bottom number and where he can get it done. What would he need to be at? He finally said a lower number. Just with the time that's passed, I always was following up with him and stuff, and he said, he'll let it go for 30. And I'm like, okay, great. So I'm gonna put it out there, see if I'm able to find a buyer. And anything I make on top is just me. And he said that's perfectly fine. So, 3 days later, I found a buyer who coming in at 35 grand, and it's a beautiful situation. So we
And that
finally
buyer's paying cash or they using the hard money? How they buying?
he cash.
Okay. So he ain't gonna have no red tape about can he perform? My lender don't like it, some old mess.
He actually asked for more time to close because he needed time coming up with the other 5 grand because he had 30, and I told him we couldn't get it done at 30.
Hey, you know what? You could always still be a gangster and go back and do the deal after the deal and renegotiate with that seller. Hey, I got it done at 28. Can we move forward?
I was thinking about doing them like that.
Hey, it's part of the game. We can't make up the numbers. It is what it is.
Right.
So that's good, Justin. You out here making moves and making it happen. That's what we got to do. Talk to some sellers, talk to some people, and make it happen, man. Regardless of what people think. Everybody else gave up on that deal, and you say, I'm going to get it to the finish line.
Yes, sir. So it's gonna be a beautiful situation.
That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, the time is now coming up on 7:30. So we're about to have a main event, like it's a wrestling match. Main event. We got my guy, Joseph Griffin, the tax deed wolf, coming in here. Going to be talking about some taxes, things like that, how we buy these properties, how we find these properties. We're going to get into that after this short, brief timeout.
So I want to get into real estate, but don't know where to start.
Well, what I would say is to join the Future Cash Flow Club. It's a community of investors where we talk about wholesaling, we talk about creative deal structuring, buying houses subject to, all of the creative stuff that everybody's talking about. You don't need a real estate license or any of that.
Wow, where do I sign up?
Well, I would say go to futurecashflowclub.com. That's futurecashflowclub.com. You can even get a free trial. Try it out today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, women and children of all ages, it's time. We got my guy, tax deed wolf, Joseph Griffin here. Let's see if we can get him in here. I see him in the green room there. We're going to pop him up and see what's up. All right. There we go. All right. What's up? The tax deed wolf in the building. Oh,
what up? What up? Can you hear me, man?
Loud and clear. Welcome in. Good to see you. How you doing today?
Man, my youngest daughter just turned 1 today, so the chaos is finally over. Everybody's out the house, and we can get into making some money now.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. So you say 1 year? Oh, wow. They almost on the way to terrible 2. Then they gonna really get bad, right?
Oh yeah, man. You
How many
already
kids
know.
you got?
4.
Oh wow. Well, they said be fruitful and multiply.
Definitely. Yep. Understood the assignment.
Cool. So for people who may not know, give us a little overview. Who is Joseph Griffin, the tax deed wolf? What do you do?
So people are always like, oh, you do taxes? You do taxes? No, I do not do taxes, y'all. So they call me the tax deed wolf because I specialize in a real estate niche known as tax sale. All right. We get property for pennies on the dollar when property taxes are not paid. So I've been doing this for a little over a decade now. And I'm actually going to break this down for you tonight, man. My man, Chris got me in the building. We live on YouTube. We shoot live everywhere, probably on a bunch of different platforms. But we're gonna break this thing down for you, Chris. I'm gonna let them know, as deep as you're willing to let me go. We're gonna dive all the way into it. So I'm gonna just keep the backstory short, man. I'm originally from New Orleans. After Hurricane Katrina, I was all over the place. I joined the military, and military sent me to medic school, sent me to nursing school. I'm working as a nurse at this time, man, and something just told me like there was more to life. right? There was more to life than clocking in and clocking out. And I just said, you know what, something had to give. And so I started investing in real estate. Before I knew it, I had enough passive income coming in to where I was able to leave nursing. So I left nursing at 29. I retired. All right. I didn't make $1 million overnight, but I started hanging around people like Chris, people that can actually show me how to do things, how to grow in life. And I was able to retire at 29, and now I do real estate full time.
So why real estate though? Because people say you can get in the stock market, you can do all these other investments. Why did you choose real estate?
Well, I got more kids than Father Abraham, so I had to build some wealth, man. I had to build some wealth for my family. So the beauty of what I like about real estate is because I can create cash flow, but I also have equity, right? I also have things that I can pass down. Is generational. So I can pass this stuff down generations, but I have the cash flow that I can leverage today. And then I also have this pot of gold that I can leverage 10 years from now, 15 years from now. I don't have to worry about a company failing, right? If the real estate market crashes, we're all screwed, right? Not this one company that just tanked. So that's the real reason why I jumped into real estate. It was less risky.
Makes perfect sense. It's one of the safest investments you can make when done correctly, correct?
Oh yeah, 100%. When done correctly.
So you stumbled into tax deeds. How did you figure that thing out? Was that something you saw on TV or infomercial or internet, or how'd you stumble into that?
Man, I was overseas. I was deployed, and my squad leader, he was like, we're talking about what we're gonna do with this money, right? Some people like, I'm going straight to the strip club. I'm doing, everybody's like, I'm doing this, and my squad leader brought up this tax sale thing. And initially I was like, that ain't real, man. Ain't no way. That's a scam. Ain't no way. But sure enough, I got home. This was 2015. Got home, I started looking into it, and I'm like, holy crap. And keep in mind, this is before Chat GPT, right? This is before there was everybody on the internet was a guru and all this and all that. So I'm like, I'm taking a chance here. I'm like, okay, cool. I found this auction online. I won a quarter acre land parcel for $3,000, right? $3,000. I sold it for $10K, and I was like, all right, we got something here. So if I can scale and keep doing this, I knew it was going to be a life changer.
So you're telling me there's how does somebody even get on this list of people who didn't pay taxes?
Okay, so if they're not paying their taxes, all right, and this is going to be dependent on the state. So let me just explain. Let me start with Florida, right? So first year of unpaid taxes, you'll typically get a notice that like, hey, you haven't paid these taxes. We're going to put a lien. We're going to sell this tax lien, right? You owe us $3,000. So we're going to list this lien for sale at $3,000. Investors may come in and bid on the $3,000 at a certain amount of interest because they want their money growing faster than it sits in their bank account. So, okay, cool. That's year one. Year two, same thing. All right, hey, you still not paying taxes, my guy, right? We need this money. The county needs the money. They got people to pay. They have organizations to run. So they're going to sell this other lien. A lien basically is like an IOU, right? A lien is just a piece of paper that says, hey, somebody owes me money because of X, Y, Z. That's all a lien is. In this particular case, it's a tax lien, all right? So after so many after so many years of unpaid taxes, right? Depending on what state you live in, will determine what's going to happen next. Like, hey, look, you ain't paid taxes in 2 years. You haven't paid in 3 years. In some cases, all the way up to 5 years. Hey, man, we're selling the deed. All right, we're just going to give somebody else your property at this point because you ain't paying these taxes. All right. And this is where the tax deeds come into play. So once you win the tax deed in an auction, you actually are taking ownership of that parcel. You're taking ownership of that land.
And so when you do these, so it's a benefit for the investor. If you don't pay, they just make interest on their money. But if they do pay, I'm sorry, let me see.
Reverse. Yep. Reverse.
Yes. So if they don't pay, they get interest on their money. But if they do pay, you can just buy the house for whatever the taxes are.
So yeah, if you have the lien and they do not pay, it depends on what state we're talking. In some states, you're just going to get the deed. If you have the lien, it's going to mature into a deed, right? That's how it works in some states. In some states, if you hold the lien and they don't pay, you may have to do something like file something and maybe force that thing to a public deed sale, right? We may have to force a deed sale. All right. So it just depends on what state we live in. Now, if they do pay, they're paying you back with interest. Okay. So if they do pay you back, your money still grew. So you did better off than letting that money sit in a bank account somewhere.
So I got a trick question for you here. As an investor, how do you lose in this deal?
It's not, no, that's not a trick. That's not really a trick question, because a lot of people will say it's a win-win, right? I've heard that before. But like you mentioned earlier, it's a win-win if you do it the right way. So you can lose, you can still lose, all right? If you buy some horrible properties that just have no value, right? And I'm gonna give you an example. If I buy a lien, I typically will get paid when the lien holder pays. I mean, when the homeowner pays, right? So I'm the lien holder. I get my interest when the homeowner pays me back with interest. What if the homeowner never pays me, right? So now I have to take my chances at some form of deed auction or something possibly, right? What if the property doesn't sell in the deed auction? Right? So if I buy complete crap, or I bought something that had other liens on it, like let's say I did get the deed. Now I got $20,000 in other debt that I didn't account for, right? So a lot of people say it's a win-win, but no, you still technically have to be buying the right properties.
You need to do your due diligence before you spend any money. Am I getting that correct?
Oh, 100%. Everything's typically sold as is. Right.
Okay. So you also mentioned states. What are the best and the worst states that you should do any of this in your opinion?
So one of the best states are, there's different reasons why you might call a state the best state, right? For the most affordable properties, I'll say South, right? Like Mississippi, Alabama, right? I've got a house in Alabama for $500, right? Some of the cheapest houses you can get, like Mississippi, Alabama, right?
So wait a minute, $500 all in, this your house?
My house.
Damn.
Yeah. Piece of crap. Don't get me wrong, it needs work, but it's a house.
Yeah.
It's a house. So some of the best states that I would say Florida's like top, right? Why is Florida the top state? And you typically hear people getting tax deeds in Florida because our tax deed process is so easy. It's right online. One, you win the property, it's yours immediately, right? You don't have to do no type of court. You don't have to, like, you get it. I've sold property in 3 weeks that I've won from the tax sale. All right. So the Florida tax deed sale is one of the best. Now, the Florida tax lien sale, though, is one of the worst. All right. It's one of the worst because in Florida, if you have the tax lien, it doesn't mature into a deed. All right. So people get tax liens in Florida. They're like, I'm going to get the house. I'm going to get the house. No, you're not. You don't know if you have to go to auction with everybody else to get the deed. Right. So if I'm buying liens, I want liens in states where the lien will just turn into a deed if they don't pay. Those are the liens we want. We don't want having liens where we have to jump through hoops to finally get the deed.
Yeah, they got something similar here in St. Louis. So St. Louis County has tax liens, but St. Louis City has tax deeds. So it's a difference. And I guess it's the same way in other states where, depending on the jurisdiction, they might do something a little bit different.
Oh, yeah. So different, man. And each county might be different, right? A state may be one way, and then you have the counties doing their own thing, right? So everywhere is going to be different. So if you ever hear anybody say anything about tax sale, you got to ask them like specifically like where they're talking about, right? Because everywhere can be different.
Okay, cool. So that makes perfect sense. So talk to me a little bit about due diligence. What are you doing before you decide, is this a buy? Should I buy or say bye-bye?
Wait, hold on. I need to hit up homegirl over here talking about she got something for $60. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Dang. All right. Shoot. So some of the things we're looking at before we purchase, all right? Everybody is preaching acquisitions. Everyone's preaching entry, buy. No one's talking about exits, all right? So the most important part of this is knowing what you're going to do with the dang property, right? And so what we typically do is I teach people to just like reverse engineer this stuff. So if you are looking to just flip land, let's just say you have $5,000 to your name. All right, you just want to go make some flips and get paid real quick, right? You need to be thinking about who's buying that. Okay. So who's buying land? Well, typically somebody who wants to build a house. All right. So we start our due diligence. It's like, wait a minute. We need to be looking for things. We need land that's decent size where we can build something on. We need to check the terrain. We don't want to buy anything that's swamp land in the middle of nowhere, right? We need to be making sure it has access roads. We don't want anything landlocked, just surrounded by land in the middle of nowhere. We need to be checking the zoning, right? Like these simple things like that. Now we may also want to check the value, the comps. So if I go to auction, I'm just gonna win something. That's what a lot of people do, Chris. I'm just gonna win something. Well, how do you know what price to pay? Right? How do you even know where to stop your bid at if you don't check the comps and know what the value of the land is? Right. So we're checking that, man. We're checking for other liens. Okay, we may have to check public record, go see if there's any other liens on that bad boy. So a few different things that we're checking, man. Now, one thing I will say is I'm not getting so deep in my due diligence to where I'm like testing soil and all that. So I'm not getting that deep. That's stuff that, you know, whoever buys it, they're gonna do all that. They need to know about the all the impact fees and pricing and all that. They need to do all that. I'm not going that deep.
That's on them. So are you saying it's better, in your opinion, to deal with land or get land with property on it? Which one's kind of better in your mind?
So the least risky is going to be land without structures, right? The reason being is because you can do this from anywhere. You don't have to see it, right? The worst case scenario is we're buying land, right? If we think we're buying a house, all right, and you haven't seen it and you had no boots on ground, nobody was there to see it for you, you could be setting yourself up for a huge fail. All right. So land is the easiest because you just don't have to see it. All right, we got all the satellite, whatever, we're buying land, right? Houses, you think you're buying a house, that thing burned down 2 years ago, and you paid $20,000 for it, thinking you're about to do $100,000 flip as is, and then you finally saw it, and there's not a house there.
So it's very important to have boots on the ground, see the property. Don't just jump in there like, oh, I think it's a good deal because Zillow said it's worth 150.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Good old Zillow.
I could buy it for 20 grand. Zillow said 150. What's wrong with that?
The Zestimate said, right? Yeah, no, you need to check the actual market. All right. You have to check the actual market. Issue with Zillow and going off the Zestimates is just taking averages, right? Like we have to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. So sometimes it's really not accounting. Now, I will give Zillow some props though. I will give Zillow some props. It's been, from what I've seen lately, it's been kind of close. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think
they're saying it's more of an as is value, but you know, whatever that means. But that's what
it's been pretty close, man. It's been and definitely is as is for the most part.
Yeah. And so you mentioned also that the land versus houses. If you were to do a house, what kind of exit strategy would you do if you got a house, say one of those $5,000 houses or something like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. So first rule of real estate that I was taught was always buy at a discount, extreme discount. So when we come in, if we're buying a house, like that house I told you I got for $500, as is was worth $35K, right? So we're buying at such an extreme discount that we can just literally list it for sale, make money. All right, that's one of the easiest strategies. Now, if you have some funds and the goal is wealth building, then you're gonna do the BRRRR, right? Buy a distressed property. The tax sale property is still a distressed property. We can still rehab. We can still put tenants in it. We can still refinance, right? We can do everything. Tax deeds is just an acquisition strategy. All right. So we can still do the BRRRR strategy. So I'm loving the BRRRR strategy right now because for most markets that I see are buyer's markets, right? I'm seeing a lot of buyer's market. I'm seeing a ton of inventory. Now's not the time to sell, right? I'm seeing just houses just sitting on the market for a year. Crazy. It's crazy right now. So what we've been doing, instead of banking on fix and flips, we've just been holding. So a refinance takes 30 days. trying to flip a house and list it on the market and waiting a whole year to finally get paid. By the time by the time somebody sells their house, we've already done 3 more because our exit was refi. You see what I'm saying? So that's the pivot that we've taken in 2026 for sure.
So you're refinancing these properties, pulling that money back out after fixing it all up and everything, basically.
Yep, it's faster. We just move as fast as the lender. You know, we close in under 30 days. We got money. We can just go head on to the next deal. While a flipper, you know, first of all, they didn't do their numbers right. They're hoping to squeeze $20,000 profit out, and they're sitting there 6 months in now. They've been paying all this, paying all these interest only payments, and you know they're sweating bricks.
For sure. Bricks. And so, say if we did come across one of these houses, say for 500 or 5,000, some cheap, right? I mean, what? I know you said burnout, fire damage house would be something you might want to stay away from. What are some other scenarios you were like, nah, not interested in that property?
So I'm typically, man, I ain't gonna lie, my standards are not super high on some of these because of the price points that we enter, right? So I'm gonna tell you some complete no-nos for me is when I'm getting into having to do too much rehab, or where I think an investor's not going to like this, right? Because it's, like I said, it's just too risky. So if I see too much burn damage, right? Like if I see fire damage and like, I mean, we're talking damn near tear down, rebuild, like, okay, that's too much work, right? If I'm seeing foundation issues, like, I mean, this house is slanted. Nah, that's too much. That's too much work, right? I'm looking for things that I can just do simple. I don't mind putting a lot of money into rehab, and a lot of investors don't, but if it's getting into like, you know, bro, we got to just tear it down, that's typically where we're kind of staying away.
What if you got squatters or tenants living in there? Does that run you away, or do you deal with them?
It depends on the state.
I knew it was something. So I know you got, you know, Pookie and Ray Ray in there living in the house, acting like they live there, and you're like, wait a minute, man, I bought this. I mean, how are you going to deal with people living in the house?
You have like, you just go right through all the legal hoops and just put them out, right? So like in states like Florida, it's too easy. And you know, we talking New York, I'll probably just walk away completely. Like, nah, bro, you got this. This is your house now. But you know, landlord friendly states, we can do stuff like that. Tenant friendly states, we're probably not even messing with some of these squatters. Yeah, nah.
Makes sense. All right. So a person that's kind of new, looking at this for the first time, or kind of heard about it but didn't know, how long would it take them to actually buy their first property?
From start to finish, being brand new, you can have your first property honestly in under 30 days. Yeah, you can have your first property in under 30 days.
So it don't take that long, man.
Nah, if you know where to go, because you know some states may have an annual auction, right? So somebody may live in a state and they know they only have one sale a year. They think like, oh, I have to wait till next year. And they assume that every state's like that, right? But then you have states like, you know, where I'm at in Florida, we have 67 counties, and some of these counties have 3 auctions a month.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I have 67 of them to choose from. Bro, I'm in an auction every day down here. Right?
You auctioned out. You tired of looking at them all?
Yeah, I'm in an auction every day down here. So, you know, it just depends on, you know, what you know.
You got to hire a VA to go research them for you. Like, man, find me something else. No.
We got a few VAs, bro. We got them searching other states at this point too. So,
okay. Now, I know people are using VAs for stuff, plus we're shifting more into AI. Are you using artificial intelligence in your business at all?
A very small amount. Very small amount. I use AI to make things easier, right? I use AI to make things easier, but AI, how do I put this? AI is kind of taking away from people's ability to think for themselves. All right. That's, you know, this is my opinion, of course, but I see too many people trying to just have AI just do everything. Like, write me a full report, you know, like, bro, proofread it at least, So I use AI to do fast things like, you know, maybe search all the data on the internet for me. What were the top 3 states that people are moving to in 2025, right? I may use AI to like just do some fast research for me, give me all articles on tax deeds in the past year, You know what I mean? Stuff like that to just make things faster. But I'm not using AI to replace employees at this point, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm old school, man. I like having my people that, like, we have a team meeting every morning. I just like being there, seeing everybody in the building. You know what I mean? Like, I just love it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And so these newer people, like I say, coming in, looking at this, how much money do they need to get started in real life?
You would need about $5,000. I say is a safe number to get started. About 5,000 in cash or credit. Okay, because you can use OPM, you can use other people's money. So a lot of people out there, you know, starting businesses, going and get business credit. I purchased 7 pieces of land in one auction using a line of credit from American Express.
Yeah, I was ready to ask you, can you use a credit card to buy these houses, or how do they do that?
Yep. So to answer your question, yes. Now, how can you use the credit card? That's the question. So in some cases, you can just swipe the card, right? Right directly with the county, swipe the card. In some cases, in other cases, you may have to figure out just ways to liquidate those cards, right?
Yeah.
Turn those cards into cash.
Makes perfect sense.
So we ain't gonna get into all that, but
I ain't gonna tell you to do nothing illegal. If it's illegal, I don't even know, but I won't even get into that weeds. You don't want to even talk about that too deep. So, I mean, are you able to wholesale these deals? If you are, like, say you were the winner, could you sell it before you even buy it? Is there such thing as that, or not really?
So yes. There's two routes technically. The first route is when you find the list, just don't wait for the auction, right? So we will approach the homeowners before the auction, get them under contract, and then we will just get out there and just go ahead and assign those contracts to another investor. Because I was buying them and then selling them, but then when I found out I didn't have to buy them anymore, once I learned wholesale, I was like, wait, I don't even have to buy these. If I can get them before, let me just get them under contract and assign it out. So that is one route. The other route is there are some sales where you can actually win the bid and then, how do I put this? Like, assign your bid, assign your win to somebody else. All right. So I think it's Philly that does that, actually, their sheriff sale. So
Yeah,
it's pretty
some funny rules anyway when it comes to wholesaling in general, don't it?
Oh yeah.
Everybody got too many rules. I can't keep up with all these rules in these different markets.
It's always a way, though, right?
There's always a
way. We adapt. Humans adapt.
All right. So what about, like, the competition? Is there competition for these? Is it like hedge funds and stuff that's competing with you? Or is it just more so regular Joe Blow on the street that's buying these properties at tax sale?
I think people saying competition is a myth, bro. It's a myth, man. I haven't seen much competition in these auctions. I went to one auction. I was the only one that bid, right? The only one that bid. I won it for $1. So nobody else bid. There was no reserve. I won it for $1. So I don't think there's a lot of competition. When we think of, like, the analogy of red ocean, blue ocean, right? Red ocean, think a lot of sharks in the water biting everybody. There's blood everywhere. So red ocean is like life insurance. The realtors, everybody and grandma's a realtor now, right? Just things that everyone's hopping into to try to make some money. And then you think tax sale, bro, nobody knows tax sale. There's not, you talk to 1,000 people, how many people can actually talk you through from start to finish, right? You talk to 1,000 people, how many of them will realistically be able to talk you through from start to finish? But look at how many people can talk you through, buying a house, though, on a regular, like, right? A lot of people. So when we talk tax sale, bro, there's still not many. This is very new still. Not new in a sense like it just started, but it's very new to the outside world.
It's like you living in a whole nother planet and you like talking another language. And everybody like, hey, you can just go buy a house for a few $1,000s. What are y'all doing?
Bro, no one, I get consulted with attorneys, consult with me, realtors, because they don't teach it in the licensure course, right? Like, no one teaches this. It's not taught in college. Like, no one knows it still, bro. And it's scary. It's scary because they're as is. If you don't know what you're doing, you can lose a ton of money. And so now there's all these articles coming out about, like, how people are losing money. They thought they were buying a house. They ended up buying 3 inches of land, right? I don't know if you saw the father and the son that bought the 3 inches of land or whatever. Like, there's a lot of people are just too scared to get started in it anyway because they don't understand it.
I feel the same way with the pre-foreclosure stuff because that's kind of where we dabble in mostly, the pre-foreclosure, stopping auctions, going to the seller before the auction, same kind of thing. And it's like people don't even know they got options or they don't know nothing. Like, oh no, I'm just gonna let it go. Like, man, y'all better learn this stuff. And so It's like a whole nother world we're living in the real estate space, especially when you niche down in the tax deeds and different specific stuff like that. And so would you suggest a newer person start with tax deeds, or should they start with like wholesaling, or start with getting their license? Where should a person get into real estate brand new kind of start at?
Bro, the one thing I will say is you don't need a license. Don't go get no. Everybody and their grandma going to get a license because they think they're about to make a crap ton of money or what. I don't know. The selling in the sunset got them like really just they think they're just gonna be a famous agent or something. I don't know what it is. I would suggest wholesale is definitely a good start, right? Because when we talk about affordability, wholesale is the most affordable because you don't need no money, right? Wholesale is 100% the most affordable entry to making some money via real estate. After wholesale is tax deeds, right? Because you still need a little bit of money for tax sale. I wholesaled, man, my first year wholesaling, I did so many deals. I didn't need none of my own money. It was just a matter of knowing people, right? It's just the network that I built over the years that I didn't even know I had. So I did like 50 deals or something my first year wholesaling, and I didn't use a lick of my own money, right? So tax sales after that, you got a little bit of money, $3,000 to $5,000, jump into the tax sale. All right, tax sale is one of the easiest ways to build wealth. One of the easiest ways to build wealth.
Makes sense. So talk to me about resources. Where will we find some of these special deals where, they're giving away houses for 2 cents?
So typically you want to start, and I'm gonna say it like this so everybody can go through the proper government channels, right? You typically want to start with your county clerk of court. So you go to your county clerk of court and you're looking on that website, you're looking for anything that has to do with tax foreclosure, right? Tax delinquency, tax liens, tax deeds, sheriff sale, whatever you can find. If you don't find it, you may have to just click the contact us section and call them up, right? Ask them what happens when property taxes are not paid. What type of auctions do you have? How do we get to these auctions? They'll tell you everything. Now, the county clerk of court may send you to other websites. They may send you to Real Auction, Real Foreclose. They may send you to GovEase or Bid for Assets, right? Your county may send you to a third party that actually hosts the auctions. Now, the reason I send people through government sites, I want y'all to start with the county, is because scammers will always find a way to make a quick buck. And so there's fake auction sites out there now. All right. So people got to be very, very careful. There's like these fake auction sites. They're like, oh, just put a $2,000 deposit and then you can bid. And so people are putting these, $2,000 deposits in here. And this is not the auction. All right. So I like to always go through the government portals just to make sure like we have it all correct.
So there is no such thing as a $2,000 deposit, just for people that may have missed it.
No, there is, but that's how they get people, because you know what I mean? They will literally copy the actual parcels that are coming up in the actual government site. So you can really be like, oh man, no, this is really coming up. Like, damn, let me do this. And then you just put your money into who knows, who's somebody in Nigeria. Wow. Somebody who knows. All right, so county clerk of court is typically where y'all want to go. And once you find that list, start doing your due diligence. All right, do your due diligence. Now, due diligence with the tax sale does include, how do I bid? All right, it's not just about the property itself. It's also about the process, because you may have to have a deposit in by a certain date. So the auction may be in June, but you had to have your deposit in by March. Right. And then the question is, how much deposit? Like, things get crazy sometimes. $1,000 deposit to bid on one parcel, $5,000 to bid on multiple. Right. So sometimes they get like a little, like, oh, okay, damn, never saw that before. Right. So you really have to pay attention to this process.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I've even seen people list one of my houses, a house I got on the internet, and try to sell it back to me on Facebook. I said, what the hell is this? How you going to sell me my house?
Bro, there's so much scamming out there, bro. It's not even funny. You gotta go through the proper channels. You need to be going through title. You need to be using attorneys, right? Let them do the research. People out here just, oh yeah, quick claim deed it, yeah, and then you just completely got scammed. All
For
right.
sure. You do a quick claim deed, you're gonna be mad. Never do that. So you mentioned that you did a bid for $1. I guess that was an in person.
Nope, that was online.
Damn, online for $1. You know they slipping.
Online, because there's so many, and this is why I say, bro, this game is not oversaturated. Do you know why people say it's oversaturated?
Why?
I'm gonna tell you exactly why. For some reason, people think that they're gonna go to the most expensive city and enter the tax sale and get houses for $1 in the most low cap rate city out, the most expensive city out there, right? So they think they're gonna go to Los Angeles and go buy a tax deed for $100. No, you're not. If you if you're going to one of these major cities, you're not finding good deals typically, right? And so why we go and we clean up is because, bro, we're outside the major cities. The first house that I bought wasn't in Orlando. It was 30 minutes outside of Orlando. I knew people were just going to commute, right? So I go into areas before they're big areas. I get in early. I like an area before it's completely gentrified, right? Those are the places that I target. All right. So I get in early, I get in cheap, less taxes, damn near same rents. All right. Little do people know I'm damn near close to the same rents that's in the major cities, and we clean up. We clean up.
That makes sense. Are you holding these properties for renters, or are you more so getting rid of them and just pulling the money out?
Right now, I'm holding, bro. I hold. I'm like so buy and hold right now, bro. So buy and hold.
Yeah, if you see all these properties, they going up in value.
Oh yeah, I'm holding everything, bro. We all right. What can I like? I'm a fiend. I'm addicted. Like I'm trying to get as much like assets as possible and throw them in the trust. I'm just trying to get this. I need $100 million. It's a race to 100 million, bro.
That makes sense. And I also was going to ask you about that too, even though that's more down in the weeds. I applied to go to a tax sale one time and they were like, you need to put it in your private name. And I'm like, no, we want to put it in an entity, either LLC or trust. I don't want real estate in my name. Is that something you come across while you're doing these deals?
I think one time, and it wasn't mandatory. It was just easier to put it in your personal name. There was this one auction, man, I don't remember where it was, but to register as a company, you had to provide so much documentation and get I think you had to get something notarized and all this and all that. So they just made it so hard to come in as an entity to where it was just like, man, let's just go in as our personal, right? And so it still didn't matter too much for me because we can always move things around, right? We can always create, man, and people don't understand how creative this really gets, right? You can purchase things and you can acquire things and you can fix your structure later, right? Now, I don't want to say too much later, right? You don't know what's going to happen, but you can still make money. People are like, oh, I can't do it because I don't have an LLC yet. Bro, if you don't go make some money today, right, make the LLC, then do all the documentation oh, I gave this, this money actually was from the LLC. You see what I'm saying? We can always fix things later.
Yeah.
So don't let that stop you from making money.
Yeah, that's all we need is an excuse to not take action. So you can do these online and in person. Is that what I'm getting with these auctions?
Depends. Yep, depends on the state. So like my Georgia people, y'all's auctions typically first Tuesday of the month, Georgia, Texas, right? And y'all mostly have in-person auctions. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida. Everybody else is now converting to mostly online. Right, mostly online, damn near everywhere else. Now there's still in-person auctions, sporadically here and there, but a lot of places have just jumped to the online wave. All right, so super easy to buy these properties, super easy. In person is cheap
because I kind of like in person more because I feel like people too lazy. They ain't gonna go to the auction. Like
it's
you said,
it can be a cheat code, bro. You find I had this one mentor. She went to an auction. And it was like storming, so nobody showed up. They thought it was going to be canceled. She got she got a house for $1.
Ooh,
house. I only got a piece of land. She got a house, bro.
House, a real house.
Real. Didn't need much work.
You looked in there like, damn, what can I
Hey.
fix? Ain't nothing to do in here but live in it.
Yeah, man. So the in-person auctions can be good. Sometimes they can be a little discouraging though. Depends on which auction you go to. You know, you see these guys that do have a ton of money sometimes on these in-person auctions, but it just depends on where you go, man. Just depends on which ones you're going to. And you have to increase your opportunity of winning. It's like people say they try wholesaling, right? Oh, I tried, it just didn't work. Well, how many calls did you make? 10. Right? 10. So you go to just 2 auctions and you didn't win, and you just went to those 2 auctions and you saw people bidding high, and then you went and made up this myth that, oh no, there's just a bunch of investors in those auctions and you can't win. There's a bunch of hedge funds. You went to 2 auctions, right? So you have to increase your opportunity. Consistency is a thing here.
Yeah, because I bought, I don't know if you saw that show Storage Wars used to come on when they used to lift up the door and everybody bid. I bought over 300 lockers like that at auction. So that's my experience with auctions more so than even with the real estate side. I've been to some real estate auctions as well, but on that, I was like, man, people hate when I was up. They like, he always bid everybody up. They hate to see me because I run up the price. I make them scared to bid against me, even though I'm just running up their money. So, I'm kind of competitive like that. Have you ever been in a bidding war?
Not really. I like a little small one, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh crap, this other guy's trying to get me. But honestly, nothing too crazy because I'm very disciplined. So the reason I go to a tax sale auction is to get cheap properties. So when we start pushing, like if I'm like $6,000 is my max, bro, I ain't going over $6,000, right? That's just me. Some people is like they want something so bad, right? Like if they had a max of 6,000, they end up winning at 9,000. That $3,000 can make a huge difference, especially when you don't know clearing the title is about to cost you another 2K. You see what I'm saying? So like you have to be very, very disciplined when you have your numbers.
I agree with that. I just used to be competitive though. I used to run it up just to spend their money and then drop it on like, oh, never mind, I don't want it. Just to spend their money. So when something else come up, I ain't got to worry about it because I'm like, I done spent your money up on this other junk that I didn't even want no way. But I don't know if it works the same on this or not. Getting competitive. Cool. So, is there any special systems or software that you can recommend people use to kind of either find or research these properties?
Man, honestly, I'm pretty old school with my method. So I'm still just sticking right with the county. The only other thing that I'll say is you're probably going to want to have is you need a software to search the parcel numbers, right? Because you can go directly to the county or tax assessor's office, whatever, use the GIS map. You can go directly to that, but that map loads so slow. All right, that thing loads so slow when you're using that GIS that I just had to get a third party. So I started using LandGlide, right? That was one of my favorite ones. So I started using LandGlide because I'm just copying and pasting, bam, bam, bam. I got everything I need. I can see the satellite view. I got my flood overlay on there. Got the zoning. I got the homeowner's information in case I want to skip trace, get their phone number, right? I just had everything right there. So LandGlide was probably the only thing that to this day still the only software that I really use.
That's like $10 a month or something, ain't it?
$10 a month, bro.
I ain't even heard the word LandGlide in a few years, but I'm like, I remember when I first looked at it back in the day, I think it was like $10.
Yeah, until I create my own, that's just the one right there. But we got stuff in the works.
That's the game right there. Don't tell everybody that software game be hitting a little different. You're like, damn, I ain't do nothing. I'm getting paid for stuff I did 5 years ago.
Yeah, software. Gotta have a software, man.
Now, have you ever bought a property sight unseen and regretted it?
Ooh, yes. Now, the property that I bought sight unseen, and the reason I'm saying I regret it is just because this was early on in my career. It actually was just land, but I'm new. This was like the second property I purchased. The first one I purchased, I just kind of got lucky. It was just right by a college. It was an easy sale. I put a for sale sign up. I had people calling me the same day, right? It was just like, it was too easy. The second one, though, I just got, it was a heat check. And so I just went ahead and bought another one. And I'm like, okay, cool. When I finally went and saw it, I was like, what the hell? Like, it was next. it was next to like this mechanic, this auto shop, and like I'm like, man, nobody's building no house on this. Like, and I'm thinking I'm flipping these lots to builders, right? And I bought this piece of crap. Thank goodness I just, I got creative, man. There's always a way out. So it was a mechanic shop, and he had some cars on it already. So I'm like, I went to him. I was like, hey, I own this lot over here, and I see you're putting your cars on it already. I'm not going to tell you to move your cars, but look, I'll sell you the lot. Right. So I ended up selling it to him, back to him, because he thought it was still his family's, but they weren't paying attention. So I sold it back to him. So I got lucky. Definitely got lucky with that one. Yeah, got lucky with that one. But that was like the one that I got that I was like, man, I should not have bought this.
Wow, that's crazy. Hey, it can happen, but that's the thing. That's why it's called investing. It is a slight risk. No matter what you do, there is some type of risk. You just want to mitigate that risk as much as possible, right?
100. If anybody tells you no risk, run. If anybody ever tells you no risk, zero risk, run. And whenever you put $1 anywhere, there's a chance you might not get that dollar back. I don't care if you put it in a bank. I don't care if you put it in a fund, a stock. There's a chance you're not getting that money back. So your goal is to just minimize your risk as much as you possibly can, and just go all in and just hope that hope that everything goes well. That's literally all it is. But there is no such thing as 0% risk.
Right. It ain't. It's out here. So, like, what is the most profitable tax deed strategy you can think of that people could probably implement after watching this video today?
The most profitable thing the average person can do here is just go and buy. I'm just going to say buy low, sell high. The least risky thing you can do is buy land. All right. Because you don't need to see it. So I would say go buy some land and just immediately sell it. All right. Buy it so low that you can list it for sale. I had a student buy a mobile home for $600 last week. If you cannot flip and make profit on a $600 purchase, I don't know what to tell you. All right, we buy some of these things so low that like it's almost impossible to not make money, because if we can't get our full dollar amount, we'll sell or finance and just get it over time, right? Yeah. If we can't get it all today, we gonna get it all somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna get it next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. Somehow, some way we're gonna make our profit.
So maybe there's a disconnect, or maybe I'm not connecting it. How could a person not pay $600 in back taxes? How do they even get to this point to where you're able to buy it at such a low price?
Man, it's still, I think it goes back to some of the terrible D's, right? It could be a death. Somebody died, and whoever was supposed to be inheriting it or whatever, they're not paying it. It could be disability. We got some people that just get on drugs and then they just stop caring about their property. Somehow, some way, bro, the properties just get overlooked, right? By family. Like, who knows? Like, I can't tell you why. They don't have the money. Like, you'd be amazed. Some people don't have the $1,000 a year to actually pay the taxes. They're living paycheck to paycheck. So there's a lot of different reasons that I've seen. I've seen divorce. Somebody just get divorced and just don't even care anymore, and just like, forget it, let it go, right? I seen one girl sold me a property just so her husband couldn't have it when they divorced.
Damn. Like, so you can't have it, I'll sell it to you.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's crazy out here.
Wow, that's crazy. That just to be honorary. I don't want him to have it. I'm gonna sell it to you
for cheap too. For cheap.
Wow, hurry up and sign for she changed her mind, right? Skid marks to the closing table.
Get it on camera.
Hell yeah. So cool. So tax deeds or wholesaling is the one to start with. If not tax deeds, is there some reason why people don't pursue this deeper? Why don't they go? Because I know we've kind of heard about it. Everybody kind of heard it, but we don't go any deeper. Why are people not going deeper into learning this education?
Man, I think fear. I think fear is the reason why people don't go deeper. There's a lot, and I have to add ignorance to that too, right? So not only are you scared, and you're scared for reasons that you just put in your own mind, right? Like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, like my credit sucks, so I can't do it. You see what I'm saying? Like they just kind of make reasons on why they can't do things. And once you actually start learning how easy it is to really be successful, and I don't want to say easy, but simple,
Yeah.
right? How simple of a step-by-step process it can be to actually go make some money. Once you understand that, man, it's a game changer. Because like wholesale, bro, wholesale is the easiest. I don't know why. Like I keep telling people, bro, don't go get your real estate license. Just go learn wholesale, right? Realtors find out how much money we're making, and then they come do wholesale deals with us.
Or get the laws changed like Illinois.
I'm telling you, man, just like go do some wholesale. All right. But people just are scared, man. They're scared.
Mm,
Why? Because America wanted them to be that way. They let themselves get brainwashed.
wow. So with these tax liens, would you suggest a person go pull a tax delinquent list from like one of the third party providers or the county, like you say?
Yep. Yep. You're gonna go get that list from the county. And then you just literally like when I tell you it's that simple. So county clerk of court is step one. Two, you just find the list. Three, due diligence. And then four is win the property. Like that's to make it quite simple, it's those four steps. All right. It's literally those four steps, just like that.
But why everybody want to make it difficult?
I think they overdo it. They read too much, right? If you try to, it's like you ever felt sick or something and you had some symptoms, you put the symptoms in Google and then suddenly you were dying from cancer and and
Extremely.
and you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing when you don't have somebody directly telling you what to do and how to do it, you're just not gonna know how to do it. You're just gonna mess it up, right? So if I was gonna go be a surgeon and nobody was telling me how to do the surgery, and I'm just trying to like watch, try to just Google this stuff, bro, I'm gonna be doing all types of what inside somebody's body, right? But if I had somebody actually guiding a mentor that I could watch do it a few times, and then they show me and they're over my shoulder, like do this, do this, do that, then of course I'm gonna perform a successful surgery, or I at least have a better chance of performing a successful surgery,
For
right?
sure.
Same thing in real estate, right? There's always going to be some risk.
Yeah. And so, speaking of mentorship, do you offer any kind of coaching for people that want to get deeper in the weeds of learning about tax deeds, buying them, etc.?
Yeah, 100%. We have a community. In our community, we pretty much cover everything, right? So I don't like to just focus on just the acquisition of a tax deed because there's a bigger picture. All right. Why are we even doing tax deeds in the first place? What is the goal here? Are we building wealth? You trying to just make a quick buck? What is it? So we focus on the business structure, the business funding, right? Game of Monopoly doesn't start till the bank hands out the money anyway. So we
Mhm.
kind of got to touch every part if you really see yourself being a real estate investor and eventually creating cash flow. So we start from the beginning, we lead them all the way down this path. Tax deeds is just one of the acquisitions in your arsenal. So you start building your portfolio by getting some tax liens, some tax deeds. We cover all that in our community.
Yeah, it's so important to actually get the right information from somebody who's actually doing the deals because we can get we can chat GPT or Google or whatever, search this stuff, but they don't really understand our market, the problems we can run into, the pitfalls we can avoid. All of that stuff can be a problem if we just jump out there and say, "Oh, we're gonna figure it out." Even though that's kind of the kind of person I am, just jump in there and figure it out. But I don't suggest people do that. I say go get the training and
Oh yeah, we
understand.
lost people like us. We lost money already. We
Yeah, we
we
are.
lost thousands figuring it out. Yeah, just figuring it out. And ChatGPT, I can't tell you how many times I had ChatGPT telling me, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're right."
Oh
I can't
yeah, I
tell you
correct it
how
all.
many times.
Chat GPT, Claude, because I go in there and test to see. Let's see if this thing really that smart. I'm gonna see if you smarter than me. I'm gonna quiz you and ask them something I know the answer to, and they be like, "Oh, well, oh, you're right." Like, "Oh, I guess I am, dummy."
Yeah, a few
But
times. I made a post on it like, damn, I'm smarter than ChatGPT. Because people don't realize that ChatGPT is not, it's not just the smartest, it's not the smartest person in the world. It's not the Oracle, right? It's pulling data. It's
mhm,
just pulling data from everywhere. So if Chris Monroe is the best wholesaler in the world, and you try to go chat GPT something that only Chris knows. You see what I'm saying? You have your own personal method that you don't even put out there in public, and they try to go do what you do, bro. They're gonna be just trying to do what the average person is doing that uploaded a video on YouTube, right?
Mhm.
And so they just won't get it, and people just can't understand that. Like, oh well, I went to chat GPT, and I was like, that's your problem right there.
You're already lost.
That's your problem right there.
That's crazy. And so you said you can go to some places or some jurisdictions to buy these deals, and some of them give you the deed automatically. I know you said Florida was one place. Are there any other places you know of to do that?
So Florida was automatic. We went to Detroit. Detroit automatic, got the deed. Some spots in Pennsylvania, Louisiana. Honestly, everywhere. Like even states that are lien states typically have some sort of process in which we can go get deeds straight up. So Louisiana, for example, is a lien state, and I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't want to do it because of the redemption period." And I'm like, "Well, go to civicsource.com. There's adjudicated properties there. You get the deeds free and clear with clear title, right?
What?
Like that's not even a thing typically, but you get them with clear title over there. So even lien states will have a process some in most cases where you can get deeds still.
Mm.
Straight up deeds, bro. No redemption.
All right, we're going to open it up to see if we got some questions from the people watching over here on Facebook. David says, "Where can I find a VA? I'm in Alabama."
Where can I find a VA? So I used, man, I went to Hub Staff. I want to say it was Hub Staff, and I put out a job opening, and I just had, man, I had hundreds of applications in like the first day. Or I
Mm.
want to say it was called Hub Staff. You just put the job opening there, and then you're gonna have a bunch of people applying from various countries, not just Philippines, various areas. And I just went. I started doing interviews, hired the people who spoke the best English that also had experience. Too easy. Five
Yeah, I think
dollars,
that's the
five
hardest
dollars an
part.
hour.
Right. So I think that's the hardest part is just getting somebody who speaks good English and not be talking like this. Hello there.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Yeah, that's what the interviews were for. Little did they know, I was just trying to see how well they spoke English.
that's it.
That's
All
literally
right.
it.
Let's see if we got any other questions. Big Justin, what up? Jaden in the building. Any questions? See, I know y'all got something to ask because he over here cooking hot fish grease, got the flame going.
I'm all ears.
You got something, Justin?
No, I mean the game is pretty simple and stuff. I understand what he putting out there and stuff. It's definitely giving me a lot of ideas as far as we talked about it earlier, being able to put a property out there and market it and stuff, doing the due diligence up front, knowing where you tap out at the auction, getting the property, knowing the laws and stuff in your area and how that works, and the process of actually acquiring the deed. And then I know for a fact I can go get a house based on this information for, 5,000, 7,000, 10,000, and then go and put it on the MLS and put it out there for 35 grand. So,
See, your coupling strategies. Get somebody on the tax deed list and then reach out to them, put them under contract, and put it on the MLS. You're trying to get a real buyer.
Yep. I think that's the way to do it, though. A lot of people who I've noticed in real estate don't, they just don't want to do the work and stuff. That's why the foreclosures, that's why nobody go door knocking. They're like, oh, yeah, man, I'm doing stuff, but I don't have time for that. They don't want to go through the process of getting making contact with a person, getting them under contract, marketing the deal or whatever. So I can see that just being another lead source for me. And I am going to look more into, picking up the tax auctions as some of my lead sources to dispo deals.
Yeah, I think you'll like it, Justin, because the area you like, them houses, them taxes might even be $2,000. You'd be like, damn, $2,000, I can get the whole house. Sign me up. So
I had one property I had on contract for. They gave me two teardowns for like 1,500, and I had those properties under contract. I found two buyers for $8,000 and $7,000, and they were two separate buyers and stuff. I had put it on the market, And what ended up happening was the deal. We couldn't do the deal because the taxes that was owed on the property was too much. That time you had told me to go, put in the bid for the properties and see what happens. Since I already had the buyers and stuff, I just ain't, want to put all my money in. I felt like I was
So,
gonna wait 6 months. I just
so
didn't want to do it at the
that sounds
time.
like a good question for the tax deed wolf. Now, have you seen these tax authorities negotiate or reduce payment of taxes? Like, say it's 2,000, but nobody's bidding. He's like, hey, I give 1,000.
Right.
Man, that's the one thing I haven't seen, bro. I tried it once because the amount of taxes owed didn't make sense, so this property was just sitting there. And I'm like, look, no one's paying this. This is like an ungodly amount of taxes that you're trying to get for this like little small piece of land. It was like, can we, I can give you this, I can give you this. And they were like, they said no. Now I'm not saying that it's not possible. I just haven't seen it. Now, liens, I've negotiated other liens down, but bro, I just have not seen them drop the price of the taxes owed yet. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but say if a property does go for a tax auction and nobody bids, that ends up on those like land bank type things, correct?
Yeah, so it may end up on somebody's over the counter list, it may just end up on an OTC list. Another entity might take it, like you said, like land bank, Department of Revenue, who knows. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I've literally gone and tried to negotiate some of these, and they were like, nah. They were like, nah. That makes sense to me, but
For sure. Jay two times wants to know, what do you mainly look for in a tax auction property?
for me, I'm looking, I gotta, it's gotta check all my boxes. Like, gotta have access, terrain, buildable, if we're talking about land, certain zoning that I'm looking for, like, gotta be able to do something with it, basically. It's gotta have some value, of course. Now, other than that, like if we've done our initial tier one due diligence, then it's just about what the price it's gonna sell for. All right. So that's one of the hardest things that we don't talk about a lot, actually, Chris, is we can do all the due diligence in the world, but then the question is, how much is this damn thing about to sell for in the auction, right? So that's really the main thing. And then there's some auction strategies too, even online. Is if anybody here plays spades, you can't talk across the table, but you got to know certain things. Like there's a lot going on that's not being said. It's the same thing in auctions, actually, right? You got to know when to put your bid in. How much are you gonna bid? You know what I mean? Because there's auctions, even in a live auction I went to, the bid might be at $3,000. Am I just gonna say $3,100 now, or am I gonna say 5,000? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I do not like silent bid auctions. I do not like those.
so even online, right? There's a certain algorithm on when they're gonna add time to the clock and when they're not. So it's like man, I'm telling you, there's so much to bidding, man, that people really don't know. So people are like, how's he winning all these properties? Well, I mean, one, we expand our opportunity. We're in a crap ton of auctions, but two, we actually also have this bid strategy down on lock too. All right. So like there's times we'll leverage the computer in our favor, right? Well, like you asked about AI. Well, no, we can actually get the computer to bid for us in some auctions, right? So there's times we'll be there and still leveraging a computer, a proxy bidding for us, right? So there's I'm telling you, there's some strategy to this.
Okay, that makes sense. So what's the determining factor if you're going to reach out to the person that's in default versus go bid at the auction?
The equity. So to give you an example, there's some counties where we may be buying mostly land and we can resell the land at 10K, but we're going to go to auction and get it for 2K though, right? So we'll just buy as many as possible for 2,000 and try to sell them between 10 and 12K. Well, in those same counties, approaching the homeowner and negotiating with them may mean giving them 2,000, right? Well, if we give them 2,000, we still owe the 2,000 in back taxes. So in a situation like that, it makes no sense to approach the homeowner before because we're still paying double than what we would have gotten in auction anyway, right? So if we're thinking houses, I'm gonna say houses, it's always good to go before the auction. It's typically always a good idea to get a house before the auction. All right. You have complete control. You can get this property under contract, send it to title. They can start making sure that titles, you know what I mean? They got make sure title's clear, making sure this is the rightful owner, making sure there's not any other breaks in the chain of title. They're checking for liens. Getting a house before auction, always preferred for the sake of due diligence purposes. All right. Even it's
You
just
know what
always,
you're buying.
you know what you're buying, you have time that you know it, there's not going to be no cloud after, right? Like, I mean, it's just 100% best thing to do. All right. So just all dependent on what's the asset, what state we're talking, right? What's our exit? So there's just always a certain valuable, and I know this sounds crazy, Chris, right? Because people always want one answer, right? They want one way. And I tell people all the time is like, the school system kind of made you this way, right? Because you think that there's always one answer. Well, real life is not one answer. Real life is what's the most appropriate answer, right? And so whenever, like, I don't even want people looking for a one strategy. Sometimes I focus on just lead generation, right? Get the deal. I don't care if they have a mortgage. I don't care if they don't have a mortgage. We get all the data, and then based off of all the data that came in, then we're going to determine what's the best way to move forward. It's the same thing in pretty much any scenario. We just need as much information as possible to make a decision and come up with a plan of action.
Do what makes the most sense. That makes sense for sure to me. Now, when we deal in pre-foreclosures, such as like people that didn't pay their mortgage, we go in and stop the auction. Is there such thing as that for this as well? You can go in and postpone somebody's auction if need be.
So you can the only way to stop, well, there's a couple of ways actually. You can just pay the taxes, right? That's one way to stop the auction, pay the taxes before the auction. Another way is if the homeowner files for bankruptcy, right? There's a couple ways that they can technically stop the auction. The most preferred way that we do is just pay the back taxes, right? And so which that can open up there's a few different ways to technically do that too, right? The best way is I would just get the property under contract before the auction, and we will just close before the auction happens, right? That's the best way. Well, what's another way? We can give them a loan. The loan can go directly to paying the taxes, but you know what I mean? Even if this deal dies, you owe us X amount of money, which can also be risky, right?
Yeah.
Because if they don't pay you, I mean, then you got to go actually try to get this money from them. Right. So there's always a way, right? Chances are, question is, what's the best way? I would say close. Just close before the auction, the best way.
So I guess it's a little bit different because like when we're dealing with these banks, sometimes we can stop an auction just with a purchase agreement and proof of funds and send it over to the bank and that'll stop the auction. I guess they don't really work that kind of way with these tax deeds at all. They're not playing that game.
Nah.
They want some money.
Because how many people have had a purchase agreement and didn't close?
A lot. How many want to do it? A lot.
50% of them. So me even more. Shoot, it might be more than 50%.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Especially when they look and say, "Oh, I ain't know that this house was all messed up, and I ain't know this and I ain't know that." So yeah, it's a lot of different ways. Let me see if we got any other questions. Jaden, did you have a question, or you were just listening in? Jaden, nope. Or Lonnie? Lonnie, did you have a question, or you just were jumping in?
For me?
Yeah, did you have a question?
Oh, no, I'm just listening to y'all.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't want to leave nobody out. All right, put you back down there, and let's see what else I got over here. Let's see. Somebody say, David again say, I've got 3 lots. Each one is 1.5 acres. Sell for $6,000 each house. Has next to the land. Each house is valued at over $300,000. So what you gonna do with that, David? Can I buy one, or what are we doing here? We just bragging, or we selling or buying? What we doing?
Are you selling them for $6,000 each? Is that what you're saying?
I think I got the check right here. Hold on, that's a government check.
Does that sound good?
Say cha-ching, get that money, man.
Yeah, man. Look, and I like, you know what? David actually said some stuff there. The homes next to him, they have houses, right? Valued at $300,000. That's a big deal. I see people all the time like, oh, I'm buying land so I can build. I'm buying land so I can build. And then I'm like, oh, okay, where's it at? You know, and they'll tell me the city. And I'll be like, you know, I'm just kind of scratching my head. And I'm like, houses sell for $80,000 here.
They ain't building there.
You ain't build. What are you about to build?
They cost about $300,000 to build a house these days, right?
Yeah. So, you know, it depends on the builder and everything, but and cost and a lot of things have changed. But you know, if you're gonna build a house, it's got to make sense, right? If it costs you $200,000 to build, that thing better be worth at least 360 to 260. I mean, right? Better be worth at least 260. So you know, I hear people saying all this stuff and it sounds really good to them, but they haven't like lost money before, right? They haven't they haven't seen it all the way through to know to check certain things, man. The value of houses is huge. That's a really big, super important thing to check. All right, especially if you think you're about to sell things to builders. Typically, if nobody's building in an area, there's a reason.
For sure. And David, I recommend knocking on the door of the neighbors on each side and across the street. Hey, you want this land we got over here for you? We'll cut the grass for you for the first 30 days. No. I don't know. I just made that last part up, but
definitely be surprised.
Yeah, go knock on the door of the person's next door with those $300,000 houses. Don't y'all want to expand? Do you want some more land? I'll make you a good deal and work it out. I mean, those are the best people I've seen when it comes to land. I mean, is that what you see too when it comes to selling it, or is it more about marketing it to the world when it comes to selling the land that you come across?
I market it to the world, bro. We will hit the neighbors. One thing that I will say too is a lot of people sleep on for sale signs.
They work.
People sleep on the for sale signs. I've had people struggling to sell, like, because they just try to listen on like Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And I'm like, did you put a for sale sign up? Just curious. And they're like, no. Bro, they put a little for sale sign that they got for Home Depot, just wrote their number on it. The same day they put it down, people are calling about the property.
That's crazy.
Right? And because people don't know that you can go find people's info and skip trace and call up and make offers, right? So it'll be a house sitting here boarded up for years. For years. The minute there's a for sale sign on it, I was wondering if somebody was gonna sell this thing.
It happens.
You sit there for 3 years. Minute the for sale sign's up, then you get they're calling.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize everybody still ain't on the internet. You know, that's little sign right here, sell your house for full price, or we buy houses, little bandit signs, for sale signs. That stuff still works. There are people that don't get on the internet still in 2026. Don't forget that. And they got money.
And they don't know. People get on the internet and don't leverage the internet. And they don't know about this stuff, right?
Like,
a lot of people,
a whole internet site for this stuff. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to find phone numbers, bro. They don't know how to go find somebody's phone number.
The
we
basics. Hey, that's the game we got to play, man. You know, it's you don't if you don't take the time to learn and understand the game, you're gonna be behind. I mean, that's what I always say. You got to understand it's a game being played, and we have to learn to play this game, whether we want to or not. You know, like I always say, we all in real estate. We just may be on the wrong side of the equation. We all either paying somewhere to stay or somebody paying us to stay somewhere. So we have to get in the game and understand how it's played and leverage, put ourselves in the middle and get cash flow. So is cash flow one of your big goals too, Joseph?
Oh, 100%. That's how I left my job. It's all about how much money you can make every month. That's what it's all about. Yeah, equity, equity appreciation, that stuff is good, but it's all about money coming in every single month, man. All about the money, man. And look, I feel like, Kai got Streamer University and everything. Chris, this is real estate university right here. I feel like I'm on Twitch or something right now, bro. I feel like
Future Cash Flow Club. You are all the way live. Let me put the banner up. See, I can't even find it. Got too many buttons over here. Yeah, we do these streams every Sunday night. Try to help people, understand some of the stuff in real estate. Try to help them understand that, hey, you can get into this game, whether you go the tax deed strategy, the wholesaling strategy, the creative real estate strategy. I bought all these houses and never used my credit. Just like you said earlier, they got to wonder what your credit score got to be. I don't know. I ain't never got my credit pulled to buy no house. I ain't got no real estate license. Neither do you, right? What's all this stuff that people put in these barriers to entry that we just don't want to take action? So I don't want to be that person that's looking back saying, man, I wish I'd have got in real estate back in the day. And we all end up finding out. We say that we wish we had got in back in the day because it was cheaper then and it's steady going up. So, I mean, it's a wide open game for who see it. All right, let's see. What's up, Diamond Ford? Good to see you down in the ATL. Let's see. They said share how to find a phone number, please. How do you find somebody's phone number? We found a house. We see Billy Jones on it. How we get his number?
So the freeway, simple freeway, truepeoplesearch.com.
Come
right?
on.
Just take the name, take the address. And I've tested it on myself. It works. Sure enough, my phone number was right there. Truepeoplesearch.com. And if that doesn't work, like if the free ones don't work, just upgrade to like paid ones, like been verified. Those work even better. So, and all you need is their name and address, right? That's all I've ever name and address right there on the property appraiser site. Just plug it in. Bam. Got phone numbers.
Yeah, being verified is pretty good because let me see, what did it cost? Like $20, $30 a month? I don't know how much it costs. But ever since I've been on it, I've been able to find people that I couldn't even find before. You know, a paid service. Sometimes you can use the free stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. And I bought deals from free truepeoplesearch.com. But sometimes you got to say, hey, I got to dig a little deeper and I got to spend $5, $10, $20. What is your business worth? You know, what is it worth for you to find this person that nobody else can find? Because that's some of the deals we've gotten too, where some people just couldn't find the homeowner, or say somebody's deceased, they couldn't find a family member. We track these people down, get the family member to sign off, and go through the probate process if we need to. If not, we do an affidavit of heirship and get into the weeds of all of that. There are opportunities for those people who know how to find people. Tracking them down is a skill set. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, and then you get paid for solving problems, man. So all that stuff you just mentioned, doing the research, you're helping people, right? We got a private investigator right now. That girl gonna find all your mistresses and everything. We calling everybody. They showing up where you hang out at. Yo, sell us this house.
Oh no, you said they gonna find the mistresses? Whoa.
They calling all you about to find out you got kids you didn't know about after dealing with us.
I ain't mean for you to find my old baby mama from back in the day. That's messed up. You done woke her up. Nah. Wow. So I appreciate it, Joseph, for coming in. Tax Deed Wolf, dropping bombs as usual. How do people connect with you if they want to reach out to you after this, if they watch the replay?
Yeah, for sure. So Instagram, Tax D Wolf CEO. Every other platform's pretty much Tax D Wolf. So YouTube, TikTok, wherever, man. If you just Google Tax D Wolf, you'll find us, right? So yeah, just reach out. You got any questions? Just don't try to do it on your own, man. I'd much rather y'all ask questions before you get your money lost out here. Just make sure you understand the process. All right, I made it simple.
I got a trick question for you too. Now I just thought of one. Trick question. Now you said this tax deed game is kind of, off the beaten path. Most people don't know. How many experts nationwide do you think there are in tax deeds?
Oof, experts in tax deeds. I would say nationwide, there's probably like actual experts really killing it. Man, nationwide, probably just off the top of my head, probably like I'd say 200.
Oh, that's a lot more than I thought. I was going to say like 50 ball.
but you got to think some of them are low key. Some of them just ain't online, right? And 200 might be a small number because there's a lot of people in the world. There's a lot of people in this nation. So, it's probably over 200. But as far as online searchable, oh man, searchable help, 50. Yeah, you're right. If you were talking about like people who can actually help you that you can find online, probably 50.
Because I haven't seen any really. You're the only one I've seen that really gets serious about the tax deeds and say, hey, this is the niche. I ain't worried about all these other distractions and shiny object syndrome. I'm sticking to the script. This works. Why am I trying to recreate the wheel?
Yeah, you don't see me selling life insurance suddenly. when I was I was supposed to be the top wholesaler in the game, but now I'm running the top life insurance company. Now I'm the sports bet guy. right?
Oh no, no.
You see how quickly people switch up, huh? How quickly.
You're keeping it too real.
See, when I met you, you were wholesaling, and then you're still wholesaling years later, right? And like, come on, man. These people are they're after a quick buck, man. They do whatever they got to do that day to get paid.
Wow. Say sign up. Whatever I got, just sign up. Don't ask no questions.
Crazy out here, man.
Justin, did you have any other questions before we land?
Nope. I'm gonna definitely rewatch this back for sure. But just powerful information. You know, I feel like my brother delivered it well and stuff, straight to the point. I mean, ABC. I would say it may be easier because for me to understand because we are actively doing deals and stuff. So, but anybody else, they definitely should get guidance on stuff like this because people will hear this and stuff, and the first thing they're gonna do is, oh yeah, let me go to the auction. And you know, there is a level of due diligence that is, you know, crucial. Even if you're getting it for pennies, you know what I mean? You need to be able to understand how much the house is actually worth, what other investors will actually purchase the property at once you put it out in the market to sell. So, you know, if you listen to this brother, he does a lot of due diligence on the properties and he not just showing up to, you know, the tax auction and be like, yeah, you know, yeah, I got a house for $5,000. And that's what we do in this whole business is we take over liabilities for people. We take over, you know, the liabilities that it is to them. They are liabilities to them and assets to us. So I do feel like, you know, you got to be careful not to go out and be like the consumers, which are people who just, you know, taking on liabilities and getting stuck in liabilities. So definitely due diligence, but it's pretty cut and dry stuff. I'm gonna go back and watch this over again, study it some more. I didn't know how quickly you can actually go from putting in a bid to actually receiving the deed. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That is something I learned today. Like you say, 30 days, you can go from, you know, owning your first property and everything through the tax auction, which is amazing. I think we have a lot of tax auctions here in St. Louis. We might have, I don't know, we have them pretty frequent like you do, like every Wednesday, I want to say, at like 10 a.m.
Uh-oh, so. Justin, it looked like we can go to the auction on the 14th. What's this? Oh, snap. St. Louis City land tax sale, July 14th, August 11th, October 6th. We got 30 days to the next auction. You going, Justin?
Yeah, we should go, Chris, for real.
I already been down there. Them people crazy. Matter of fact, last time I went, a lady ran up the bid on some land in the Central West End. You know, the houses over there like 600,000, right? So the land went for like 47,000, and it was two parcels, 40-some thousand each, and the lady didn't even pay. Can you believe that?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you know, people be going into all of this stuff, all of this real estate stuff. They go into it uneducated, and they really kind of like water it all down and stuff. Like, you know, and people might have a little something, and then they just pretty much just, you know, mess it up, and then be selling it to us for pennies on a dime.
They ain't giving me no list. Where the list at? They saying you can just click on it. Yeah, well, I guess I have to come back. Oh, they say 2 weeks prior to the sale date, they'll tell us who it is. Oh, I gotta wait 2 weeks. They don't want to let nobody know, even though we can just go pull the list right now. See, I'm all about shortcut stuff. I mean, I see this, and I know that anybody can go pull this up on the internet. I'd be like, how do I beat out the people who gonna wait the 2 weeks? I just go pull the list right now and find out who they are. Is that a strategy as well, Joseph?
Say that again, bro.
I'm saying, like, I see on here they got a tax sale coming up for July 14th, which is 30 days from now. But over here it says they're gonna drop the list in 2 weeks. I'm like, why I gotta wait 2 weeks when I can go pull the list right now to see who's delinquent on taxes? Is that a good strategy to just go ahead of time or wait till they drop that list?
So you can try to get it early if they allow it. A lot of times they won't drop it until closer because so many people redeem, right? Oh. So it's like a lot of work for them to put together this huge list too early, and then half of them pay before 30 days out. So typically they won't put them out till about 30 days.
Okay, so that's why they do that. Okay, because I'm looking like, I mean, I could go pull a list from a third-party site to say these people are tax delinquent and go get to them before now, but I don't know. That's
Those are
just
motivated. Those are motivated, more motivated sellers possibly. So I love doing that. Yeah, that would be a good list though. That'd definitely be a good list to pull.
because they 30 to 60 days out from an auction. And St. Louis City, you get the deed. They ain't playing no redemption periods and all of that other stuff. They deed, baby, get signed over.
Yeah, that's my go-to move right there. Yeah, liens are good too. Like if they're gonna mature into deeds, we'll go get 10 liens for $1,000 total.
What?
Right? Yeah, and you gotta hold it. We might have to hold it for 2 years, 3 years, but I don't care because it was $1,000. I would have spent that at the club. You know what I mean? So 3 years later, I may get half of those. I may get 5 deeds now from $1,000 that I spent today. 3 years from now, I get 5 houses.
Yeah, and if they don't pay, you get paid that interest, right?
If they pay, I'll get the interest. If they don't pay, I'll get the house.
Because they say here, well, in this state, Missouri is generally 10% per year. Is that a good rate?
That's all. That's okay.
What's a state that got a better rate than that you know of?
Shoot, Texas is 25% in 6 months.
What? Let me find out they over here killing the game.
That's redemption deed.
I got a question about buying the liens.
Go ahead, Justin.
Okay, so what's that process like? Because that's different. Because liens don't go to the auction, do they?
Yeah. There's lien auction. Yep. There's different types of lien.
If you own it, you don't have to go bid on it, right?
If you own it,
so you can buy a lien on a property prior to it going to before okay. Well,
you got to buy it from the. Well, you can answer
from
Joseph.
the county.
So the lien. Yeah, so typically the lien comes first. So if you're buying a lien, don't even think deed sale, right? The lien comes first. By the time something goes to a deed sale, it's typically because it just went so long without the taxes being paid. So they're just like, all right, somebody else about to get this thing now. So I don't know. Is that what your question was?
Right. Can I buy a lien and foreclose on it?
When you say foreclose, so you buy a lien and then take over the deed?
Yeah. Can I do like a quiet title suit after purchasing the lien?
Not with the lien. Not with the lien. With
the
deed. With the deed. Yeah.
So what it sounds like you're asking about, Justin, is you're talking about waiting for the redemption period. Because if they get a tax lien certificate, you have a redemption period. I think it's 1 year in Missouri or something like that. Whatever that redemption period is, once that ends, you may be able to go do what you're asking about now.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep. So if you have the lien, you're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing with the lien typically.
You're just holding a position, right?
Yeah, exactly. You just have a piece of paper that says somebody owes you money. You don't have the deed yet. Once you get the deed, then hey, sky's the limit.
So could I do this? So for example, there's a guy across the street from me. I made contact with him. He owns a property. Him and his siblings have a silent agreement because his dad passed away and his dad left them about 10 properties. They've lost 2 of them. And they pretty much are, kind of like, hey, this is your house. He's paying the taxes and cutting the grass and stuff. And then she has like 2 apartment buildings and stuff that he had left them. But they have a contentious probate. And it's, I tried to get the guy to enter into a probate so that we could force them to sell the properties and everything. Because the siblings will be, fighting. And ultimately the court will make them sell. So ultimately, he didn't want to engage into the probate because he didn't want the problems between the siblings. So I see that the city has now started to cut his grass. So could I purchase that lien and then go and, at some point, I guess the redemption period, after the redemption period, foreclose or do a quiet title suit to get that property without having to go through the whole probate process?
That sounds correct. Yeah. If you go that route, you would be bypassing the probate. The only question is how long will that route take? That's it. Like how back are they on taxes? Like is the property about to come up? Then heck yeah, that would probably be faster than the probate if it's actually coming up.
Yeah, Justin. Plus, because that house in the city, right?
Yeah, it's in the city,
Yeah, so they
63136.
get the deed in the city. Like I was saying, you can just go pay the taxes on it or bid on it at auction, and you'll get the deed right there. You don't have to go through none of that stuff.
I think I'm gonna go do that for all of their properties. Actually, I'm gonna go
Why
see.
wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get the whole portfolio because the probate was a little. I was trying to get him to do the probate. He didn't want to engage in it and stuff. And but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go look up all the properties. I already got a list of them and stuff. And they lost 2 of the properties already. They keep falling behind on the taxes. So I'm actually gonna do my due diligence to see if we can get a small portfolio with the the lane process. Let's see what that's going on.
Shoot, he said apartment complexes. Shoot,
Right.
let's get it.
Yeah, he got like 2 4 units and 2 4 units and like 6 houses, but they messing it up. They just paying. They are paying the taxes though. They've been paying the taxes for years, but I do believe that they starting to fall behind.
For sure. All right. So hopefully everybody got something good out of this whole thing. Any final words you want to give the family, Joseph, about anything we talked about? Did we miss something? Anything you want to drop on the family?
Man, just best. I just want to give y'all a little piece of advice real quick. Man, just keep going. All right. This, we make it seem like it looks so easy when you watch us online, but there's so much that goes on the back end. It's not always rainbows and unicorns. So whenever you're dealing with that adversity, when the bad things are happening, just keep going. All right, keep going. Just don't give up on yourself. Don't let nobody else talk you out of this. It has to work, or it has to work for you. All right. Don't give up. That's the best advice. There's so many times I wanted to give up, and then like my breakthrough was like right on the other side. All right. Persevere, be resilient, and just keep on grinding. If you haven't done a deal in 30 days, 60 days, telling you, keep going. Get better and better every day, and just don't stop. That's the only way you can lose is if you quit. All right. So just don't stop. But that's all I got, man. Chris, I appreciate you. Appreciate you for bringing me on board. Let me go get to these babies.
Yeah, happy birthday to the little one there.
Nah, I appreciate. I just got told that they've fallen asleep on random spots, so I got to go move everybody to their beds.
Wow. Better than musical chairs, musical beds. I appreciate it. Tax Deed Wolf in the building. Appreciate you, my brother. Be safe out there.
Let's get it. Y'all take care.
All right. That's how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. Tax Deed Wolf, Joseph Griffin. That was who we had on here. Make sure you go tap in with what he's got going on. Look him up, give him a shout out. Go hit his Instagram up. Say, hey, I saw you on the show with Chris Monroe. Y'all was out there and y'all was on the go. Go do your thing, and that's for sure. So hopefully y'all got some good stuff out of this. Justin, Lonnie, everybody watching, the replay viewers, whoever didn't see it, David, I see you, my man.
Yes,
I say thank you. Jay 2 times say Justin trying to get the whole portfolio. That's what I'm talking about. My man Wolf. Ooh, we outside, y'all. Go get these deals. Opportunity is out there for those who go get it. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns for me?
No, sir.
I love when you bring on these type of people and stuff, Chris, because it's an amazing thing and everything. And I feel like I don't know. It's so many like fraudsters out there and stuff. And this guy, he keeping it simple and stuff. He's saying, make sure you grab a hand of somebody who know what they're doing. It's really all you though. You know what I mean? It's you showing up to the auction, seeing what's going on, having your own money, doing your own due diligence. Like with a process like that, nobody can fail you but you. And I think that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? I think like he not looking to recruit you in no, program or something like that. Now, if you pay for knowledge or consulting, that's one thing. But is he not selling you no dream or no fantasy? Everybody know the tax sale exists, but hey, here's what I do, how I get into deals on the tax sale. Here's my story. He intro with his story, which is great. You know what I mean? There's no sale, no pitch, anything like that. Hey, when I got into real estate, I did wholesaling. I started doing the tax liens, got my first property, boom, 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 boom. And he's doing buying hoes. He's not flipping them and everything. He's doing the cash out refinance. He buying them at deep discounts. He's able to do the bird. I mean, I remember at one point I was telling Chris about, the bird method.
and you like the first thing, buy. you gotta buy it at the right price. If you don't buy it at the right price, ain't none of it gonna work. So that's a great process. I actually plan on adding it to my to some of my lead, generation methods and stuff. And I think I'm probably gonna, start adding on a couple of deals through that process as well this year.
Might as well. There's somebody out here that needs your help that didn't pay those taxes. Somebody needs your help that didn't pay their mortgage. Somebody needs your help that didn't do a lot of things. We just have to make sure these people know we exist. We're here to help them out. We're going to win, and they're going to win. But it's a wide open game. Diamond Ford, Chris, do you still buy in Atlanta? For sure. You got something in Atlanta under contract? Send it over. Matter of fact, I'm going to hit you up after this call, or you hit me up after this call, one or the other. If not, you can always email the information to chris@futurecashflowclub.com. There's the email. Very simple. Simple like a pimple. Well, I want to say thanks to everybody that jumped in. Hopefully y'all got something out of this and implement. Learning this stuff is one thing, but implementation is something else. What good is it to say, I learned it, I heard about it, but you never take action on it? Take action on the information. That's all I can really say. Because we can go over this stuff and I can talk about it to them blue in the face. Go get a seller. Go find the tax deed list. Go get the foreclosure list. Go to auction.com. Go to the sites that he mentioned.com. Whatever. Go to the site, take some action. Spend 2 hours a day. Everybody got at least 24 hours in a day. You can take out 2 of those hours to generate some leads, have some conversations. You don't have to know all the ins and outs of this stuff. I say it all the time. Get a fish on a hook. Hey, I know Jelly Jolly Joe want to sell. I'm going to call Chris Monroe. They need some bail, and I'll bail them out. We get them out of that thing. So, cool. Good to see you, Justin. Keep knocking them dead. And Lonnie, I see you out there too, and Jaden and everybody else. We will catch y'all on the next one. Do what you do. Be who you be. And I'll see you before you see me. Good night. So yes, I basically just wanted to remind everybody exactly how the Future Cash Flow Club works, because I've been getting a lot of messages like, what is that about? How does it work? It's basically a group. So you see how I do these live seller calls, things like that. You get to get all the replays for all of those. You actually can get the paperwork, purchase agreements, assignment agreements, cancellation agreements, addendums, all of that stuff that you need if you sign up for the elite package at futurecashflowclub.com. Or if easier, it's probably you can just go check it out for a free trial. Lots of goodies in there, behind the scenes stuff, actual help with your deals. If you want to communicate, say, hey, I'm stuck on a deal, I need some help, I'm looking for lenders, I'm looking for whatever, I'm a resource for you. So all you have to do is be part of the club. futurecashflowclub.com. Check it out.
So I want to get into real estate, but don't know where to start.
Well, what I would say is to join the Future Cash Flow Club. It's a community of investors where we talk about wholesaling, we talk about creative deal structuring, buying houses subject to, all of the creative stuff that everybody's talking about. You don't need a real estate license or any of that.
Wow, where do I sign up?
Well, I would say go to futurecashflowclub.com. That's futurecashflowclub.com. You can even get a free trial. Try it out today. I don't know what you've been doing. You've been asleep? Let me wake you up with something. Straight up. Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chris Monroe. R to the O-E. I flip houses, rent cars, and make money. I'm not no motherfucker dummy. This how we do.